Hello and welcome back to a tier list video. This time it's ranking current UFC champions. So let's go through the champions if you don't know who they are. At strawweight we have Rose Namajunas, who just won back the belt from Weili Zhang at UFC 261. At women's flyweight we have Valentino Chevchenko, who just defended her belt at UFC 266 against Lauren Murphy in a dominant performance. Flyweight men's is Brandon Moreno, who just snatched the belt off of Davison after drawing with him at UFC 255 at UFC 255, and then beating him in a rematch at UFC 261.
Bruh.
No. Yeah. Wait, no. Okay, moving on. Bantamweight men's is Aljamain Sterling. Now, personally, I'm a big fan of Aljamain Sterling. Not a popular opinion. When Aljamain got kneed in the head against Jan, how is that his fault? If he was exaggerating it or faking it because he was losing the fight, he was being smart. And if he loses that fight, he probably never gets a shot at the title again. Women's bantamweight is Amanda Nunes, and then women's featherweight is also her, and men's featherweight, Alexander Volkanovsky, who just had an amazing fight with Brian Ortega. Charles Oliveira, UFC lightweight champion, rumored to be fighting Dustin Poirier in either December or the start of the new year. Welterweight with Kamaru Usman, who just knocked out Jorge Masvidal and is set to fight Colby Covington. Obviously Usman's already beat him. Nonetheless, an interesting fight. Middleweight is Israel Adesanya. Then we go light heavyweight, Jan Blachowicz, who is fighting Glover Teixeira. I think that's the next card, if I'm not mistaken, UFC 267. And then we have Francis Ngannou, who won the title at UFC 260 and was willing to fight, and the UFC made an interim title because they needed a pay-per-view. I did not buy that pay-per-view. I usually buy pay-per-views. I didn't buy that one. It was not good enough for me to buy. Okay, so here we go. We'll start from the bottom and go make our way, we'll start lowest weight class and make our way up. So first is Rose Namajunas. Now obviously Rose is a two-time champion, so let's talk about the criteria for how I'm going to rank these champions. I gotta establish a criteria on which I'm ranking these people: their career in the UFC thus far, so their record or their performances, their finishes, and also second to that is how long I think they're going to hold the belt. Those are my two criteria. So let's start with the lowest weight class, Rose Namajunas. Rose is a two-time strawweight champion. She won it against Joanna, then defended against Joanna in an immediate rematch. And then she got slammed on her head by Jessica Andrade. Came back, beat Andrade. Beat Weili with the head kick, and now her and Weili are fighting again, UFC 268. I know that number. I do think Rose wins that fight, but Weili is not an easy fight by any means. The mental state Weili's in right now isn't great. She's making up a lot of excuses. If she corrects some of her mistakes that she made, then maybe it'll make it closer. But if she's like, oh, it was a fluke, it was stopped early, and she's like, I'm just gonna go straight back in there, she might not have that good of a chance. But for this list, we're ranking her amongst champions, right? And even if she beats Weili, Esparza is a threat to her, who already beat her once. Tatiana Suarez, I think, is going up to flyweight. But if Tatiana's there, then that's a threat. Joanna, maybe, even though she's beat her twice. I think Rose, for now, Rose Namajunas will go in the B tier. I think that's where we'll keep her for now, and then we might move her down. I don't see her going up. Women's flyweight, Valentina Shevchenko. Now, women's flyweight, not the best division, and Valentina is one of the better female fighters ever. This is the thing, I don't think I'm gonna be that generous with the S tier. I probably only want one or two people in the S tier. So am I gonna put Valentina over another girl on this list? I don't know if I can do that. So for now, I'm putting Valentina in A tier. Next we go to men's flyweight, Brandon Moreno, who just won the title. Kind of been a back and forth fighter, like a Charles Oliveira, like a Jan Blachowicz, where he had some losses, but he's persevered and made it to the top. He has a loss against Alexandra Pantoja twice, I think, 2 losses against him. So when him and Pantoja fight, that'll be interesting to see if Moreno can avenge that and see how much he's improved since those first 2 fights. But for now, I think I'm gonna put Moreno in the C tier. Women's bantamweight, and we go to the greatest women's fighter of all time with wins over Cyborg, Rousey, Holly Holm, Jermaine Durandamy, obviously Megan Anderson recently, Felicia Spencer, gone on a crazy winning streak. Miesha Tate she beat. I think there's not much explanation needed here, but Amanda Nunes has 2 wins over Valentino Chevchenko, although controversial, the second one has 2 wins over her at a higher weight class. So I think I'm gonna put the GOAT in S tier. And then we go men's bantamweight, and although I am a personal fan of Aljamain, he was getting destroyed at the end of that Petr Yan fight. And bantamweight is just so tough, like Font, Aldo, Corey Sandhagen, like that top 5 that they have going, TJ Dillashaw, like it's gonna be tough for Aljamain to remain champion. And he's had a decent career. He doesn't really have a great standout. Well, that win against Corey Sandhagen is his standout win. Other than that, he went on a decent like 5-fight run. But I think Aljamain, I think we know where he belongs, sadly. My boy Aljo in D tier. And then we go men's featherweight, and we go Alexander Volkanovsky, who just gained the love of the MMA community by putting on a banger with Ortega. I always thought he was amazing. I love watching Volkanovsky fight. I've watched his whole catalog back on UFC Fight Pass since he was fighting Tristan Kennedy, the Canadian, in Australia at UFC 221. So I just like watching him fight. I love his hip feints. His leg kicks are amazing, and he's fluid. And when he throws leg kicks into punches, and he's got good ground and pound, he's tough. I love watching Volkanovsky fight. So how much longer will Volkanovsky be the champion? There is this guy in the featherweight division. He's really good, and he's OP on UFC 4. I think you know who he is. And can he win against Max Holloway again? 3 times. He's already beat him twice. Beat him. I think I'll have to watch the Volkanovsky Holloway 2 fight back again. When I was watching it, I thought Holloway won. But when I watched it back a second time, I was like, ooh, Volkanovsky might have edged it, but it was so close. But if Volkanovsky gets by Holloway and has 3 wins over him, it's going to be tough to, I mean, not really though, because if Volkanovsky beats Holloway again, Holloway's still the #1 contender, and then he goes and dominates like Zabit or something like that, like just boxes him, like does what he did to Calvin Kattar to Zabit, or like Chan Sung Jung or Dan Ige or any of these guys, and just keeps winning. It's like they gotta fight again. I have three wins over this dude. So I feel like he'll keep having to deal with Holloway no matter if he beats him in this next fight that they're probably going to have, unless Yair Rodriguez pulls something out of his ass, like some spinning kick, and knocks out Holloway, which is not going to happen. Let me knock on imaginary wood there for you Holloway fans. I'm a huge Holloway fan too. But Volkanovsky right now, I'm going to put him in B tier as well. I think he fits in B tier. Might move up with a couple more defenses. He's only had 2 defenses. So, yeah, I think B tier is a good spot. The lightweight division with Charles Oliveira, who just won the belt, has not made any defenses, has had a great win streak that he's gone on, but through his UFC career, kind of been a up and down fighter. The lightweight division is full of shark tanks. That makes no sense. The lightweight division is a shark tank of a division full of sharks, is what I meant to say, but that's even stupid. Charles Oliveira obviously has a really tough fight coming up with Dustin Poirier. Say he beats Dustin Poirier, then he's got to fight a guy like Gaethje or Chandler again, who had him in trouble in the first fight. And then there are still guys like Beneil Dariush, Islam Makhachev is... I don't think Charles... No, Charles is in C. I think D is kind of reserved right now for Aljo. But yeah, Charles Oliveira in the C tier, I would say. And then we go to welterweight, and we got Kamaru Usman. So this is a big decision for me. I'm gonna put one man and one woman in the S tier. That's my cap. And who I'm choosing between to go in the S tier, it's either Israel Adesanya or it's Kamaru Usman. It's one of the two. So, UFC career, obviously 14 fight win streak, that's huge. Never lost in the UFC. Adesanya had a loss against Jan Blachowicz when he moved up, but he's never lost at 185. When you think their title runs have been pretty similar, they had a dominant win over the champion, the current champion, Whitaker's with, Adesanya's with Whitaker's, and Usman's with Woodley's. But if we're talking finishes and defenses, Usman's got more finishes. And if we're talking about well-rounded fighters, I think Kamaru Usman is the more well-rounded fighter in terms of offensively wrestling. He's really come along with the boxing. Usman has one more title defense than Adesanya. How did I forget about the Gilbert Burns fight? I'm special needs. I'm a casual. I'm a bot. I think that Usman right now is the boy that needs to be in the S tier. Not a man, he's a boy to me, at least. He's very small. Who needs to be in the S tier along with Amanda Nunes. Which puts Adesanya in A tier. I don't think we gotta go through much discussion about that. Pretty dominant. Again, if he beats Whitaker, then there's not much like maybe the Jared Cannonier fight would be interesting. Maybe a Derek Brunson rematch would be interesting. But not that interesting. Like if he gets through Whitaker again in dominant fashion, then he won't really have to face Whitaker for a while. Because Volkanovsky had 2 decision wins over Holloway. But Adesanya would have had 2 finishes if he does finish Whitaker in this rematch they're going to have. So yeah, I think Adesanya belongs in the A tier. And then we go to light heavyweight, the guy who beat Adesanya, Jan Blachowicz, with 1 win and 1 title defense. Like I said, similar to the C tier guys I have right now in Moreno and Oliveira, having kind of had to work their way up. I think he started 2-4 or something, and then he won it on a 9-1 streak or something like that. So Blachowicz would seem like he would fit into the C tier, but that win over Adesanya and the fact that the light heavyweight division is nowhere near as stacked as lightweight or even flyweight, I would say. I think I'm gonna put him in B tier because I can see him getting 2 or 3. I could see him getting 2 more title defenses at most, I would say, because he is getting older, and maybe a young guy like Rakic goes in there and beats him. But yeah, I think he belongs in the B tier. I like that position for him. And then we go to Francis Ngannou. He's been pretty dominant throughout his UFC career. His only loss coming to Stipe, and he avenged it in vicious fashion. I tried to illegally stream that fight, and the stream crashed. And I'm such a noob, I didn't have a backup stream because I don't usually illegally stream fights, but so I didn't have a backup stream, and it was tough, sad hours. I refreshed the stream and I see Miocic knocked out. It's like I'm not illegally streaming shit ever again. So, either way, Ngannou. This is a tough one because kind of like Adesanya and Volkanovsky, their toughest test is next. Ngannou's toughest test is Ciryl Gane because he's the most technical and the most skilled and should beat Ngannou. If we're talking about technical abilities and like well-roundedness, he's the better fighter. But if you didn't know, Ngannou hits like a Ford Escort going at 60 or something like that. Dana has said that before. But does he belong in the B? Because if he just loses straight to Ciryl Gane, I think he beats everyone else pretty much. Just because he's so powerful. And he looked amazing in that Stipe fight. I don't think he belongs in the C tier. I think he belongs in either B or A. And I don't think it's A. Not yet. Because in A, there's 6 title defenses from Valentino. There's 3 from Adesanya. And Ngannou has none. I think I'm going to put Francis Ngannou in B. And that is the end of the tier list. Let me know what you'd change. I think I like where I'm at. I said I might change Rose around. Ooh, does Rose belong in C tier? Rose is kind of iffy for me. If I were to order these, probably go like, what would I do? Probably go like that in the B tier, and I'd probably go like this in the C tier. Yeah, that is my final tier list. Let me know what you guys think, if you guys agree or not, if I'm a casual and a dumb Ute. Comment in the comment section. My MacBook fucking Air is heating up. It's running helicopter type sounds. Thank you for watching. Again, let me know your opinion in the comments on my tier list. And yeah, peace.